Gemma, and you probably already know that. I'm an aspiring illustrator from the Netherlands, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to come up with ideas of what to draw. I have talked to you in the last video about how to make time for drawing, and if you do that, if you make time for drawing, like if you draw every now and then, or if you draw every day like me, you probably have this problem of not knowing what to draw. I think everybody has that. And today I'm going to share some tips about how to come up with ideas, and I'm going to do that by first telling you about some techniques that I use a lot, and then share some techniques that I don't really use but could be helpful for you maybe. Because I draw a lot, but when I sit down to draw, I also don't know what to draw. Nobody knows. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, the technique that I use most often is this list of ideas for things to draw that I have in my phone. Every time I think of something new, I write it down. It's quite easy. And then when I start drawing, I just scroll through the list and pick something. I also have this list of screenshots of drawings that I really liked on Instagram or Pinterest or stuff. Yeah. And then there is, sometimes I join challenges. For example, this one was about collages. You can see the animation. And then I also have a Pinterest board with pictures that I find cool, like this. And I sometimes use those as inspiration, but I don't use Pinterest that often. During the day I often look around and I think, when I see something, how would I draw this? Or if when I see something that I really like, I think about how, if I could draw it. And when I don't know what to draw, I often draw the same thing, and this is just a portrait of a girl looking to the left. I have quite a few of them. And here's another one. That's kind of my go-to thing, because I know how to do it and I like it. Yeah. Okay, so those are the techniques that I use a lot. And now there are some other techniques. First of all, you could make a list of all the things that you really like, or find pretty, or find fun, or love, or etc. This could be objects, but also people, or activities, places, or animals, anything. And you could also make fan art. That's something a lot of people do. I once made this drawing of Moomin Mama from the Moomins when I was reading the Moomin books, which I really enjoyed, so I kind of wanted to do a drawing about it. You could also make like fan art about songs or stories or movies or poems or other stuff that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be visual, like the song. You can illustrate a song that didn't have visuals before. Okay, anyway. And then there are some techniques that I learned at school. I study industrial design engineering, and we had a course last year where we learned a lot about how to come up with ideas. We had to think of like 20 ideas, or maybe it was more, for some really specific assignment. And we learned a lot of techniques, because you can't just come up with that many ideas just from scratch. The first one is creative confrontation method, where you take a dictionary or another kind of book or something else, and you just flip through it, pick a word, equation, and then you try and make artwork based on that, or boot, or associate, or adventurous, and that can help. Then there is the Morphological Chart. That's what they call it. This is, for example, one. At first I looked at some things that I like to draw, like parts of humans and abstract thingies and nature of things. And then I filled in the rows, like hands and eyes and full body or limbs and nose for the human parts. And then there's abstract things and nature of things, like plants and birds and flowers and drops and rainbow mushrooms. And then once you have this chart made, you combine them. So you go like, I'm gonna make a drawing with a hand and with blobs and a bird, or a nose and mushrooms and stripes, or plants and limbs and circles, or eyes and flowers and colorful blobs. And just like that, you have a lot of ideas about drawings. They might not all be good. There are really bad ones in there, but they can be really interesting as well. I once made, gotta look it up. Made a drawing with this technique. These two. For this one I combined a face and a bicycle. And here I combined space and ears. And then it was planet with ears. Yeah. And then there's one more technique that's similar to something I learned in school. Which I learned on a workshop with Marloes de Vries. She's a Dutch illustrator, she's really cool. And she called it a, aardbeienspin. So you start with an object, for example a strawberry, aardbei. And then you think of many ways of how to draw, what to do with that. You could, for example, give it some hands and feet and make it a little character, or draw it in a vegetable garden, or as ice cream, or just as the fruit, or give it a little door and then make it a hotel. And this is a little pun. It says, I'm gonna talk this in Dutch because it doesn't make sense in English. Het is een bij en hij zegt, ik ben heel aardig, dus het is een aardige bij. Aardbei. Yeah, anyway. Those were the techniques that I have. And I have some last thing to say about when you use for other people's artwork as inspiration. For example, this is a book that I really like. It's a children's book. And if I was to make some art inspired by this cover, I would never copy the whole thing, because if you do that, you don't feel proud of your drawing because it's not your drawing. It can be very useful. You can learn a lot from it, but it won't make you satisfied with yourself as an artist. So what you could do, for example, is look at how he uses color. It's a really big colorful thing, and the rest in sort of black and white or monochrome. Or be inspired by the way he draws faces or people, or by the scene, like a kid drawing something really big with a large brush. But not like multiple of those things, because then it's not really your drawing. You can do it, of course, but I don't like doing that. But yeah. And then if you still can't think of anything using these techniques, you can also always draw something in front of you, like your hand or your cat or your flowers or something. I also went I went to a museum with a friend. That's also really helpful, with a lot of stuffed animals, and then we drew them, and it was fun too. And these bikes are for a project that I'm doing, which is also, if you can make a come up with a project, then you can make illustrations for that. I'm gonna make a video with the full flip through of this book a little later, so that will be the next video. And there's one last thing. You can always also be inspired by the drawings you made previously. So first I made this drawing, inspired by a picture by somebody else. I'm gonna look it up for you. It's gonna take a second. Dear I'm not sure if it's, see, no, this one was inspired by that, and then this one was inspired by this one, and then this one was inspired by that one, and then this one was inspired by that one. So that's also a way to work. In the next video, I'll show the flip through of this book, and see you there. Bye!